As I was preparing for this, I just felt like, dang, like this might have to be like a two-part series because I have so much content for you guys. And so I'm super excited to share this with you. And it could be a little bit all over the place. If you haven't been on a Zoom with me before, um, then just welcome to my squirrel brain because that's kind of how I operate. But I'm super pumped to share all this info with you, and make sure you have your notes in your notepad ready because you're going to be wanting to take notes. So a couple of the things that I wanted to start off and share is like, I'm not certified in any of this. Okay. Like this is all stuff I've learned from experience and just research on my own. And it is nothing that's like set in stone. None of this is going to be meant to offend anybody. And, and everybody has some of all of the color personalities in them. Okay. You're going to have some of each of them. I always joke that I'm like, zero. I mean, my test literally said I was 0% green, but I do have green in me that can be brought out when it needs to be. And so I want just to let you guys know that that is something that you're going to have all of them in you, and some people could even be rainbows. You could have equal parts of all of them. Okay. But the beautiful thing is we're all equal, or we're all individually made. And so I know that from experience that this stuff has helped my business so much. It's helped me lead so much more efficiently. It's helped me become self-aware and where my strengths and my weaknesses are, and how I can work my business to freaking like the best of my ability and be as efficient as possible. So you guys know your natural disposition is your first two colors. So everybody is so used to being like, I'm red, I'm yellow, I'm green, I'm blue. Like it is not going to be just one color. Your second color is also going to have a lot to do with it. Okay. So you're going to go over each of the colors, okay, in detail. We're going to go over strengths, weaknesses, how they typically appear. I want you to know that there are like healthy versions of the color personality, and then there are unhealthy ways in which those things manifest, right? But I want all of you to know that the reason we are on this is because you are able to transform. You are not the victim of your personality, and I want to make that super clear. Okay. You are not the victim of your personality. We are on here because you can be educated, and because this can help you change. This can help you manifest into who you want to become, the healthiest version of you. And that doesn't mean that, oh, just because I'm red, I can act a certain way, or I'm blue, whatever. It might help you understand it, but it's not an excuse to not behave in a way that's going to be productive for you, for your team, for your family, whatever that might be. So your ability to transform is all going to come on your road to selflessness in every color. Okay, let me repeat that. Your ability to transform the colors that you have is going to start with your road to selflessness, not making it about you. Naturally, we have like our brains are just wired to survive. Okay, so we are all put in survival mode, and it's all about us. And so when you see the bad parts of every color, there are bad parts of every color and amazing parts of every color. When the bad part starts to come out, it's because it is the very selfish part of that color. Okay, so if you want to improve, start on the road to just being selfless. So let's start with blues. Where are my blues at? Okay, so just so you guys know, I am 60% red, 30% blue, 10% yellow, and 0% green. Okay. And so if blue, yes, blues. Okay. So we got some blues in here. So here's the thing is that blues are all about fun. Okay. I'm about to explain what a blue is. So blues are all about fun. I'm going to tell you here are some of their dislikes. Really the only thing is anybody who tries to take away their fun, anybody who's a buzzkill, anybody who is just not ready they're just not here for it. Like if you're not here for it, like I cannot have you around in my circle. Okay. And we also don't like people who are forceful. Okay. People who are forceful, or like put rigid rules on us. Like, no, that is something you do not want to do to a blue. Blues do not like alarm clocks. They really value their freedom. Okay. They don't like talk radio or news reports. They also don't really like, if this sounds like you, put a 1 in the comments if you're blue and this sounds like you. And they don't like meetings. They don't like presentations, like boring things. They need to be entertained, like if they're gonna listen. Okay, if they're gonna listen to you, you have to be funny. You have to be doing something silly. Like they're not here to just be at a boardroom meeting. Okay, that's like the antichrist to blues. And so blues don't read long letters ever. If you ever write along something or they get an email and they open it, they ain't reading it all the way through. They're gonna skim it. Best case, they're gonna skim it. Okay. They don't like, typically blues don't like school settings. It's too rigid. They don't like anything that really makes them feel like anything else. Okay. Or everybody else. I mean, they don't like anything that's going to make them feel like everybody else, like they're just a number. Yeah, blues are going to be the people who have like millions of notifications. Unless your green is your dominant color, you are a blue. If like you're like me, where, let's see, I have 9,400 unread messages, 10 things, 1 calendar thing, all my notifications down here. Okay. If that stresses you out, you're a green. Okay, like if you just looked at my phone and got slight anxiety, you're a green. Okay, so I think that's, but like the blue, that's blues. Blues they're gonna not have clear their notifications. Just typically laid back. So what do they like? What do blues like? Blues love the spotlight. Okay, they like to feel important. They want to know, and that doesn't mean in a bad way, but they want to know like what they're doing is making an impact. Okay. And they like to have fun. They like to know that they're in the in crowd. They like to know that they can dream big. Blues typically are very, very big dreamers. They have big goals. They like to go out. They're going to be the life of the party. So if you see them out, and I actually have a girl on my team, Connie, if she's on here, shout out to Connie. Connie is like an introverted blue, which is kind of contradictory, but like she just wants to be in it. She just wants to be in the party, but she doesn't need to be the center of the party, right? Blues are the epitome of FOMO. Okay, if there's something going on, they need to be there. Like they're not going to miss out on it. Okay. They like to be outside. They like to be in the sunshine. They like being social and meeting new people. One reason blues can get very bored in this business is because it's very behind the screen and they want the interaction. They want the Zooms. They want the connection. They want that. And so if they're bored, it's because they're not stimulated. They need to go out and they need to meet people. They need to go to try-it events. They need to start talking to people. They need their ideas. They're very creative with their ideas. So blues need to be stimulated, and how they're stimulated is from other people. They will get hyped on videos and stuff, but like they are processors externally. So typically people who are dominant blues are going to process when they're talking. Blues are going to be people who like put their foot in their mouth all the time. Their emojis are definitely going to have the face palm on it because they're just going to say things and it's not planned and it just kind of, they think when they talk. Okay. So let me pull up another thing that I had. So they're very driven by emotion. Okay. Blues are. They're all about having fun. They're creative, and the blues are going to be the people who see the vision. You're never going to have an issue with a blue seeing the vision. Ever. Okay. They're never going to have an issue with that. Because they can dream big, but you're going to be like, they're going to be that person that probably, if you're a green, really frustrates you because you're like, bro, you were so excited. You were more excited than than I've ever been in my life. And you still didn't do anything. Because blues are so easily excited and they're so emotion based that like when a green gets off the phone with a blue, they're like, that was so amazing. This girl is so excited. She's going to do all of this stuff. And then what does she do? Nothing, because the follow through is where the blues weaknesses come through. It's not that they're not genuinely excited. It's just they get excited about almost everything. and their emotions are very extreme. If this is like hitting anything with anybody, please put something in the comments, put a 2 in the comments, whatever. I just want to know that this is like on point for where you guys have tested and your experience with it. So blues often overcommit themselves. Okay. They're going to be the people who are like, yeah, I'm doing that. They're going to be your friend who's always like, yep, I'm down. You know, you're going to call them. They're always going to be down. But like the night of the party, you don't really know if they're going to show up. That's the blue, right? They're so quick to commit to everything, but they're slow to follow through. They typically can overcommit if they're not the healthy version of the blue, right? They can overcommit and underdeliver. So what do you have to do with a blue is you have to, and blues are perfect for this business. You guys, blue personalities and those are the people you probably get hung up on too, because their potential is there and you see it and you're excited because they're excited, because they are going to be the public speakers, the entertainers. They're going to be really good at sales, but they're sometimes, here's some things that we have to watch out for with blues is that they're really good at talking and they're not great at listening. Okay. They can talk too much. They can do so without thinking. They can typically be late because they're just so into whatever they're doing that they just don't have that ability to kind of stick to the time. They can jump from work to work. They basically can say things that they don't mean. But what's really good, like they're so likable. Typically blues are really likable if they're operating in the healthy version. They're going to be high energy. They're going to take some risks. They kind of jump and then they think about it. And they're people oriented. Blues want to help people. Okay. Now we're going to talk about yellows in a second, but what I want to make sure that I separate the difference between yellows and blues, because yellows are also helpers. Okay. And blues want to help people. Yellows want to be needed. Blues want to be significant. Yellow, and if you're blue and yellow, you want both. Yellows want to be needed and blues want to be significant. Okay. So how can you identify a blue? They're going to be the ones that have more crazier, like not all these are, and you guys, these are just like generic things, but they're going to be the ones that have like fun hairstyles. They're going to be trying new hip and trendy things. They're going to dress super casual. They're not going to be dressed in suits or anything because their personality is very casual. The way that they talk is going to be very fast paced and upbeat. Okay. You're going to be the person that's like, oh, hello, hello. What are you saying? You're talking so fast, I can't even understand you. Okay. Like if you're agreed, you're like, bro, slow down. I don't even know what you just said. Like you're talking a million miles a minute and I'm not even taking notes yet. So like, that's like going to be the blue. That's how you can notice if they talk really fast and if they talk like upbeat and they're super fun and they're smiling all the time, they're a blue. Okay. If they're a little bit late, they'll probably have some blue in them because they just get so emotionally caught up in that. Greeting them. So if you've ever been greeted by a blue, you are probably going to feel a little uncomfortable if you don't know them very well because they're going to touch you. Blues, just like they're huggers. They're going to be like a little bit more in your personal space. They just like that. Okay. Like that's what they like. Like, I mean, for me, like when people come up to me, they're like, hey, Kelsey, I'm like, I just hug them. Like, that's just how I am. And so they're going to smile big at you. They're going to make you feel warm and welcome. If you've ever done that with Tiffany Hirsch, she's a red blue. Like that. She's never going to make you feel like standoffish. She's going to be super warm, welcoming, inviting. And let's see, teaching them. Okay. Blues hate to be condescended. Okay. And so when you're teaching them, you're going to want to use like an even tone of voice when correcting them. So you don't want to ever make them feel stupid or put them on blast or make them feel dumb in front of people. You're always going to want to criticize blues privately because they can take it personally. And making sure that when you're doing it, you're telling stories to make your point in like a positive way, right? Like you're telling stories to make your point in a positive way. You are ending things on an optimistic way, and you're in like a fun note, and encouraging them, letting them know that they can do it. Because blues are externally driven, they can also be externally demotivated, meaning it's important that you do lift them up, that you allow them to share and be creative. So I've come up with these questions that, because here's the thing is, we can all say like, oh, I just want to see from their perspective, right? But if you really want to communicate and speak their language, you're not just going to have to see their perspective. You're going to have to listen, understand, speak that person's perspective. Okay. And so if you're, the best way to do that is really to put yourselves in their shoes, which is hard to do if that's not typically how you think. So I'm going to kind of give you an insight. So when you think about a blue, the question is all going to be based on why. Okay. Why am I doing this? So because they're based on fun and fulfillment, they have to have a reason for doing everything. Well, why should I pay attention to this person? Well, why am I going to go out if nobody's at the bar? Like, why do I need to change? Why do you love this business? So they're the person you're going to want to tell stories to. If you're talking to a recruit, like if you're talking to a potential distributor, you're going to need to talk to them in stories. Tell them stories, give them that. Blues are very impulsive, okay, which is not always a bad thing, but they're going to be the people who are very quick to make those decisions because they don't really think about the consequences. Okay. They want to do what they want to do a lot of times. And so you want to focus on the excitement and the possibilities. Optimism with blues is key. You want to continue to keep the optimism. But if you want to convince a blue of something, you show them a story. If you are a blue, you love watching documentaries, you love listening to other people's stories, you like hearing like all of the things that they went through, you like the total transparency package, because that's what gets you to buy in. That's where you understand that's why they are the way that they are. It makes so much sense. Okay. And so each color is going to have a question, but that the blue one is going to be why. So that's what they need to know. Because true blues, all you need to remember if you are a true blue is that you have to focus your drive for having fun, your drive for fulfillment on how you can help other people enjoy life as much as you do. That's what you need to focus on, is showing people that you're letting your energy that's positive, that's fun, that your drive for that is just saying, oh my gosh, like I want everybody to experience life the way that I do. And so I'm going to continue to talk about that. Okay, hopefully this has been helpful. So I'm going to move on to greens. So greens are kind of the flip side of blues. So if you're a blue, greens stress you out because greens are always wanting information. And I'm sitting here like as a blue, like, bro, relax. Like you don't need to know all the facts. If you are a blue and you coach a green, they're the person to ask for the compensation plan. Okay, so strengths of greens. Let's start there. Greens are very accurate. They're very dependable. They're going to be efficient. They're going to be prompt. They're going to be very well read. They're never going to talk if they don't know what they're talking about. Repeat that. They're never going to talk if they don't know what they're talking about. Like that just makes them very uncomfortable. And they're extremely organized. They're going to be pretty computer savvy most of the time. They're going to have an organization system for everything. And as long as you give them a precise plan, they're going to follow it. And they're going to get really good results if that's it. Okay. Now, here's the thing is like, it's like a hand. Strength, weakness, strength, weakness. It's two sides of the same coin, right? Because where your strength lies, too much of a good thing is not a good thing, right? And so that's where weaknesses can fall. And that is for every color, not just greens. And so for greens, a thing that they have is they have a problem with over analyzing things. Okay. And if you're a blue green, what happens if it's not, and I really want to do a second part of this about like the color combos, because I do think that that is not talked about enough. Like you can be, because your first one might be 33% and your second one might be 33%. And so you might have equal parts, but if you're blue and green, what happens is it's like the same as red and yellow. Like you have these two conflicting parts in your head, and you have a lot of internal battles because you're like, I just want to have fun, but I don't know everything about it. Gosh, but that just looks so fun, but I don't know if I want to do it. It's like you want to do it and you live in this constant state of like, I don't know, like if I should. And then by the time you didn't do it, you regret it. Okay. And so there is like this, but I just think there's so much to that piece of it, to the combos, the combo of the first two. So greens do not believe in, like, if you've ever heard the thing, facts tell, stories sell. Stories don't mean anything to a green. They need to know the facts, and they actually want to check the story that you told. like you tell them a story, they're going to be like, okay, can I read the article about that? Like, where's the actual printed documentation of that? Whereas like blues, we can be pretty gullible because we're just like, oh my gosh, yeah, dude, I'm so emotionally invested in that story. But greens want to see all the facts. Now, they actually don't like hype. Okay. If they sense that you're like hyping them up, it actually will deter them to some degree because it feels fraudulent, because they don't feel that way. They don't get that hype. And my husband is a green, so I know this. Like I'm in, like, greens like their personal space, and my love language is physical touch. So you can just imagine me being like this to my husband, like poking on him, like trying to have fun. Like, and he's like, do you ever think that that's too much? Like, like that is not him. Okay. Because he's green. Like he has this physical space that he wants to live in. And greens are like that. They typically don't like the people invading that. And it's not like they can't do it. They just don't need it. Okay. They are typically, what happens with greens is you'll just word vomit all the information on people. That can be a big thing. It's like, you're like, can't understand in your brain why somebody wouldn't want to know that. Like, I'm just sending them all the information I would want to know. So like, if they don't need that information, they're just not being thorough. Like that's the way your brain is thinking. And so it can sometimes be overwhelming for people. Greens don't necessarily show excitement. Like if you're trying to hype a green, like if you're on like a Zoom and it's a green person, like do not expect to like laugh or like, and not that they're not funny, but like don't expect it to be something that wasn't on the agenda. Okay, it's going to follow the agenda and it's going to be on time, and it's going to frustrate them when people don't mute themselves. Like there are just certain things that like that's just the way that they work. They can be very patient. Okay, greens are very patient and they are very loyal. And I mean this because once they buy into something, they might be the hardest person to get on your team. They will probably be the most loyal, because once they buy into something, they don't care what anybody else's story said because they know the facts. Like, I know the fact that like this product helped me lose 50 pounds. So like, sorry, like, I don't care what you have to say. Like, and they can also come off as very cold depending on what their secondary color is. And people are like, why aren't you excited? And they're like, bro, I am excited. Can't you see that I'm excited? I'm so excited. And blues are sitting here like, I'm twerking on you. Like, what the heck is wrong? You're just standing there like a stiff person. But it's like, it's so different. Greens are just like so different in that sense. They can be typically very skeptical. They can come off as cold and uncaring. And here's a big thing with greens. They would typically rather be right than rich. I'm gonna let that sink in for a second. They would rather be right than rich. Okay. And this is going to be a very like thing that you're gonna have to be self-aware on, if that is you, and understanding that like they don't understand I'm going to lose this to win the war, right? They don't like losing small things for a bigger cause. Like that's not really typically who they are, unless they're like a super self-aware, like healthy version of a green. Okay. But a typical shade of a green is going to feel, it's going to be, I want to be right, and almost at, I don't care what cost, if you're not functioning as a healthy green. Okay. Um, so that's it. So, let's see. So if you are high functioning green, here's what you should look like. You're going to grasp the concept of learning how to just do it. How to like just do it. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to learn from my experiences instead of out of a book. Greens are like, a high functioning green is not going to be super judgmental anymore, and they're not going to be pre-judgmental. They learn how they don't have to win every argument, and that they don't need facts for every decision. They learn the value of faith. Greens can typically be a little bit skeptical of things like faith that they can't see, that there's no science to back up, whatever. And so high functioning greens can learn the value of that. They can learn how to open up their emotions to feel like where people can feel comfortable with them. And they can lose their deep need of perfectionism, because that is something that will hold a green back, is a deep need of perfectionism. And understanding how to be focused on results rather than methods. Okay. If you're trying to be successful, because so many times having a green personality can hold you back, because you're like, I don't understand. Like, if you're training a green, show them the entire conversation first. If you stop saying, like, if you're a blue or a red and you're training a green, give them the whole conversation first. Like, show them the flow of it, how it's going to go, what happens if somebody says something, instead of just saying, like, just do it, just figure this out and I'm going to be there. Because their brain goes, so, well, what if you're not there? How am I going to abort mission if I start this conversation with this person and then you're not there to help me respond, or then you're not there. And so you want to be able to show them the whole flow of the conversation first. That's going to make them feel extremely comfortable when operating in any sort of avenue or form like that. And what they don't like sloppy people. They don't like sloppy work. Like, a green would die if like something was like super like misspelled on something, or they're just so detail oriented. They don't like surprises. They don't necessarily like unorganized people. Anything that's really unexpected, they don't like it. They actually hate lying. Anything lying is like X. Like, greens cannot do it. They don't like exaggerations. They don't like hype. They don't really, not very big typically on public displays of affection. They don't like anything that's distracting them. They don't like, this is a big one for greens. My husband, this is one of his biggest pet peeves, is not receiving credit for the work that they do. They don't like that. That's like something that's not cool. They don't like long stories. They want people to cut to the chase. And they just want the facts, right? Somebody like me could annoy a green because, like, I can talk in circles, and you're like, but you didn't finish that sentence that you said 2 times ago, and I was about done writing it down. Okay. So, like, that's the mind of the green. And so I apologize to you guys who are green and can get frustrated with me from that. So they just want the facts. They're not going to be like the social butterflies typically of the group. Doesn't mean they can't be. It just means they're going to be very conversational. Greens are very good at conversations, but they typically don't enjoy huge groups where they want a small talk, because that's not them. And so what do they like? Like, what can you give a green that's going to help them? They be on time. Give them a plan. They love spreadsheets and facts. Okay. I have like Forbes articles that I have that are about our company that I send out to greens, so I can show them the legitimacy of our company. They like to do their own research. If you're talking to potential green, you are never going to sell them on this business. What you need to do is give them the information, and they will sell themselves. Give them all the information that you want them to have. Give them a PDF of the comp plan if they're extremely green. Give them, and you know what? What that shows them is that you're trustworthy. If you upfront offer the information to a green, they will love you. Like if they don't have to go searching for it or whatever, and they're like, oh my gosh, like she just gave me all this information. You're like their best friend, because then they don't have to go search for it or find it. They're always going to read every single detail. Okay. So don't like worry about that. They're going to be the people who, like will fold their arms a lot. Like if you ever like in a meeting, and it's not because they are like not like happy. That's just like kind of how they are. And they love pointing out when other people are wrong. Like that is something that they're like, nope, that was wrong. And they will give you a list of why that person was wrong. If they do ask for ingredients, they are green for sure. And they will be the people that like, somebody said they feel attacked. They will be the people that will like email a blogger about how they misspelled a word. They will be the people that will pay attention to so much detail that like other people would just miss. Okay. And that's not a bad thing, right? So what is the green question? Like if you're trying to put yourself in the mind of a green, the question has to be how. Okay. Well, okay, that's great. You're going to go, you told me that you think I can go double diamond, but how? Okay. It's not that they're like they're negative. It can come across that they're negative, but that's just the first question their brain asks is how is that going to happen? Like, I'm not even saying I don't believe you, but I just want you to give me some reassurance on how it's going to happen. Okay. And so if you're a blue and coaching them, you can feel personally attacked if they have that response, because you're like, bro, like I'm telling you can, like, and that's all you need as a blue. Right. But like, they want the facts. They want the facts of how it's going to happen. How does it work? How do I benefit from it? How good are the reviews? They're going to be reviews, people, whether you like it or not. If you don't like, because sometimes our company doesn't have the best reviews, what I think is best is to tell them Jesus has bad reviews. You're going to find bad reviews, no matter where you search for them. But I'm going to tell you where the reviews are. Here are some testimonies, and give them those. Then they just want to keep things detailed and research oriented. So if you want to do that, they're going to be the person who's going to organize things. Okay. They will be great. They want to be involved. Greens want to be involved. Encourage them to be in action always, even if it's not perfect. Okay. Like they are so critical of themselves that you don't need to be critical of greens. Okay. They're so critical of themselves. So if you're coaching a green, encourage them to be like, dude, we're learning. You've gotten so much better. Encourage them to see the progress and not the perfection. Okay. That's what I would say is big with greens. And then offer constant ways that they can continue to learn, because what happens is that with greens, they feel fulfilled when they're learning. They will get bored if they're not learning, if they're not educating themselves, that's it. They need to feel like, number one, that they can offer insight because they want to feel important too. But number two, that somebody else is offering them insight. Okay. Is this making sense to everybody? Okay, cool. Okay. So let's move to yellows. Okay. Yellows, I feel like, are one of the most misunderstood colors, because yellows have very varying extremes. Okay. Yellows are very easy to get along with. Okay. They're so easy to get along with. They're very personable. They're going to be very friendly. They are amazing listeners. And they're the people who have a lot of genuine friendships. Okay. And because of that, typically when they come in, they have a very big, like warm market, if that makes sense, because they know a lot of people, because they care, because they can be really good friends. They're very unselfish. They're great team players. They're extremely like creative in their friendships. Like they will go above and beyond for people in their friendships. They are dedicated. They're very patient. If you are a yellow green, you are literally like a freaking lion that is about to pounce. Like you will sit there all day until it's your time, until you see it, until you recognize it. Like, and if you're like, I'm a red blue, so like, I don't understand that. Like, I mean, I do understand it, but like, it's so like, that is not me. But if you are a yellow blue, I mean, if you're a yellow green, you will wait all day until you know that it's time. You don't have that like desire for the speed. And so you are very patient and you can be very loyal. Now, your yellows are always going to follow an ethical leader. Okay. Um, things that yellows are things that are weaknesses of yellows is that they're overly sensitive. Okay. They can take things very personal, especially like if they get rejection on a sale, if you say things that you're like, I'm just being honest, like they might cry. And it doesn't mean that that's bad. Like often, yes, when people quit their team, often you guys, yellow people, if you can deliver it correctly, they actually want the criticism more than other people. Like not criticism, but they want the honesty because yellows hate to second guess where they stand with you. That is like such a hard thing for yellows because if they have to guess, like, and that's why yellows are tended to be attracted to reds who are super confident because they know reds are always going to tell them how it is. Like they're never going to have to second guess where they stand with a red. Like they know that the red's always going to tell them. So that is something that why the yellow red combination works. Okay, is because if you're like a blue and you're working with a yellow and they see that part of you, a blue is very like much like they're going to kind of tell you what they want to hear because they're very charismatic and they're very like, so it's just very, very important. You guys just remember this. The golden rule that we were taught when we were younger, treat others how you want to be treated, is not applicable. It's not applicable anymore. This is that was for the basic things like be nice and be kind. This is for like life. Like how do you want to be coached? How do you want to get criticism? How do you want people to talk to you? Like I need Eric Thomas to yell at me. Like I don't need Joel Osteen. Yellows need Joel Osteen a lot of times. However, yellows can still take Eric Thomas because they know if they know your heart and they trust your heart, they will take whatever criticism that is. Okay. Yellows can tend to hold grudges if they're not operating at a healthy level. They can hold their emotions for long periods of time. Actually, yellows are the scariest. People think reds are the scariest, but I will tell you that yellows, what happens is it's like a boiling point. They will hold things in because they will do almost anything typically to avoid conflict. They will like hold things in. And then all of a sudden, have you ever had like a friend just like really get mad at you and you're like, bro, I did not know it was that big of a deal. Like I did not know it was that serious because the yellow doesn't want the conflict. And so they'll just hold it in. But when they explode, like yellow, you do not want to see a yellow explode because they are for real, for real. Like if you make a yellow mad and you cross that line, like you're done. You're done, son. And it's very hard to gain that trust back with a yellow. The one thing that yellows do tend to trust people easy. Like they're going to be the ones that make like quick friends. Yeah, blues will get attention quickly. They're going to be the ones that get your attention quickly. Yellows will get the most friendships the easiest. Okay. Because blues want people to like them. Yellows want to be connected to people. Does that make sense? Those are two totally separate things. And so yellows can dwell on problems. Here's one thing that I've learned about yellows in our business is that yellows are so empathetic. They're so empathetic. But here's the problem. They will often adopt the beliefs of their team members who quit, of the people who tell them no, of the people who say the products don't work because they're like, oh, I understand she just doesn't have money. Gosh, people really just don't have money. Like, just don't really have money. Oh my gosh, I know. It can kind of be like really, really hard when people quit. Yeah. And like, gosh, yeah, I have a lot of sideline friends and their checks, they're frustrated with their checks going down. And now, like, I know that like I'm frustrated with my check going down too. And that is a very dangerous spot to be. Okay. Because when you are yellow, your empathy, there's a fine line between having empathy and empathizing with people and adopting somebody else's feelings as your own. Okay. So if you're yellow, you have to be very, very careful of who you surround yourself with, who you spend your time with, who is in your ear gates, who is in your eye gates, because you can adopt that. And so how you overcome it is just by upgrading your circle and not accepting any of that. Yellows are easily the number one people I see turn into human garbage cans, where other people go to yellows to dump their shit in. Excuse my language. Um, okay. People go to yellows easily because yellows are just like, oh my gosh, like I know and I care and they're gonna be the friends that are like, um, yeah, like I just can't believe he did that to you when really you were the one being rude. And like if you're in a relationship and you go to the friend and they're always telling you that you're right, that's a yellow. Okay. That's a yellow. But if you go, if it's somebody who's like, listen, you actually kind of messed up, that's probably a red. Okay, somebody who's just more honest about that stuff. And it doesn't mean yellows can't get there. It just means like I would say probably on average that's something yellows struggle with is the line between like really over empathizing. They just are over empathizing. Okay. Um, they're professional warriors and they beat around the bush when they're dealing with anything unpleasant. So here are high functioning yellows. They can take criticism and rejection without taking it personally. They learn not to dwell on the problems. As a yellow, you can learn to be empathetic without and without adopting those beliefs. You can learn to be aware of what the other of when other people don't have excess time to chit chat, because yellows will typically be the ones that just like talk your ear off. And they learn how to be more goal oriented and results focused. They learn how to confront issues and express their feelings, even if they don't think that they will be popular. Okay. They realize that they can't save everybody. If you're a yellow, I want you to put your profession in the comments. Typically it can be stay-at-home moms, nurses, teachers, anything that's like if you're like a helper of any time, that is going to be nurse, mom, stay-at-home mom, nurse, paramedic, caregiver, stay-at-home mom, teacher, EMT. Okay, you guys can see where I'm going with this. It's typically something that yellows, that's just who they are. That's their natural core being, right? They love helping people. But it's just important, which we'll get to in a second, to learn how to adopt those beliefs, adopt healthy versions of those beliefs. They hate greedy people. Yellow cannot stand greedy people. They can't understand greedy people. They don't get it. They want it, everybody should get a share in the wealth. They don't like selfish people, loud people, pushy people. They don't like profanity. People who like aren't fair. They're the ones that like, if you have a yellow on your team, stop putting them in group chats and not calling them. They want to have a personal relationship with you. When you do chats, when you do group emails, when you do group things, what they want is they want to know that you care about them on a personal level. You should know the names of their kids. You should know what they're going for, every single thing. When you know the difference, when you know what's going on in their life, they will work harder. They will be more committed to you typically than they are themselves, which we'll talk about in a second, yellows, for those of you who are like, yep, that's me. It's not okay. Okay. But that's what they are. They don't like people who are fake or phony. They don't, and here's the thing, a lot of you guys are like, yeah, I don't like people who are like that either, but like, it's not like your pet peeve. Like when I say people, they don't like that, like that's their like kryptonite. Like they will cut you off. Like I'm not saying, oh, I just don't like, I mean, nobody's sitting on the Zoom being like, oh, I like phony people. Like, no, that's not what I'm saying. But like when you're a yellow, somebody who is two-faced, like you can't deal with, like you will not have those people in your circle. And you know what? Because you're yellow, they might still think they are in your circle, but you know that they're not in yours. But you won't really tell. Okay. But anyways, so they don't like conflicts and like confrontations. They admire reds typically for that. And reds admire yellows because they're able to empathize and connect with so many people that reds can't. But yellows do admire the fact that reds are so open and able to confront things and deal with things. So I think that's something that if you're like, I'm so attracted to people who are 2000% authentic, then like that's probably part of your, something coming off of your yellow. So what do they like? Yellows have to believe what they're doing is freaking a mission, that what they are doing is really going to change people's lives. Okay. They like to volunteer their time. They're going to be family oriented. They love to be outdoors. They're typically very spiritual. They love peace and harmony. They like to help people with their problems, sometimes without addressing their own problems. They like hugs. They can be very touchy feely people. They like talk shows. They crave attention. They're people watchers. So they love people. Like they're just people oriented people. They are huge on honesty and integrity. And they're just peacemakers. So how do you know if somebody's a yellow? So somebody's a yellow if, like, typically, like, this is going to be like the very extreme version, so just take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. It's like typical hippies can be like yellows. Like they'll just have the long hairstyles with like not really much going on with it. They're not going to have anything super flashy. They're not going to be like super into like in super expensive stuff. Like they're just going to kind of be like earth toned, if you will. They are going to have very like a super smooth like voice that's like talking like so soft and sweet and calm and nurturing. Like imagine how you picture like any mother figure. That's how yellows are going to be. And they are rarely going to be like sarcastic. If you have somebody who's a sarcastic yellow, like dominant yellow, that's very atypical. They're typically on time or early because they're very, that's your red, Rachel, though, because you're a red too. Because reds are super sarcastic. But yellows are timely because they respect people's time. And they are going to spend a lot of their business focusing on building rapport with people and building relationships. Okay. And so that's part of it. They're going to get close to you. They may even hug you. They're not like, typically if you're a dominant yellow, you're not going to be like if somebody greets you with a hard handshake, it's going to take you by surprise. But I think that like they're typically have softer handshakes, and these are just generic things, you guys. It's not all going to be 100% you. They're going to respond well to a warm smile, just being very genuine with them. If you're persuading them or trying to like, if you're dealing with a potential, you cannot challenge a yellow or be boastful to them or materialistic. They're going to respond to integrity, to honesty, to genuineness, to you being vulnerable, and most importantly of all, knowing that you care about them by you using their name. Use their name. Say their name multiple times. Like when you're talking to them, be like, you know what, Rachel, like I know what you said about Zoe's dance lessons. Like you need to talk to them with names, with specifics that you remember that stuff, like, and that you mean something to them. Yellows are the epitome of the quote, people don't know how, or the people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. That could not be more true of yellows. They do not care or give an F about what you've done or what you know until they know that you care about them. Okay. Inspiring them, don't put them in a competition with other people. Typically talk about team victories, talk about how this is going to be for the greater good, how it's a community piece, how this is going to really help them move along. Let them know that what they're doing is going to help others. Okay. They don't want to compete against their teammates. They want to know that like they're there and that they're pushing each other, like they're making each other better, but we're not at like this. Okay. I'm not like trying to be competitive with you. I'm trying to do it so we can both get better together. That's what yellows want to feel. That's how they want to think. And do it. When you're coaching a yellow, compliment them, compliment them, compliment them, correct them very nicely, praise them for their loyalty, not their results, because that's what they value. They value loyalty. In a results-driven business, we still need to value loyalty. And so it's very important that we do that. Be mindful of tone of voice. Never go to a yellow when you're frustrated. And making sure that if they know that you are coming from a pure place, if they trust you, they can take harsh criticism. Let me make sure I make this clear, because a lot of people don't think yellows can take harsh criticism. They can't take harsh criticism from people who don't know them. that will offend them. But if it's somebody who they know and they trust has their best interest in mind, like I have so many yellows on my team and like I'm hard on them, but it's because they know that they can trust me. That whatever I'm saying is coming from this place of like, I really just want you to get better. And so I'm telling you this. I'm telling you this not to make myself look better, not because I think you're a bad person, but it's because I care about you. And if you can do that, and if you can get to that point with the yellow, you can criticize them. You can criticize them. And they will respond if you make them, and if you don't make them feel guilty about letting them down. They don't want to let them down. They don't want to let people down. So, okay, let me see if I have any other notes over here that I wanted to touch on. Yellows, they're going to be patient, encouraging. Yellows are some of the hardest workers. Yellows can be some of the freaking hardest workers in the business. They will adapt to what everybody else wants, but the weakness is they don't know what they want. Because they will get home or they will spend a day and they'll be like, oh my gosh, I got like so much done. I feel so good. But what happens is that they don't really know what they want. And so then they can often get frustrated because they're not getting it because they haven't identified it, because what makes them feel good is helping other people. Okay. And so make sure that you can help them see what they want. And make sure that like when you're having conversations with them, you're using words like help, contribute, care, feel. I'll repeat those: help, contribute, care, feel. Feel, felt, found rule is great for people with yellows. And if you're blue coaching a yellow that has no blue in them, avoid the hype. Avoid the hype. They don't want the hype. They just want to have a conversation with you and it to be slow paced and just lower the volume. Okay. Okay. So let's get to reds. Okay. Reds, these are going to be your natural born leaders. Okay. They are also going to be fearless. They're very goal oriented, and they thrive on competition. Okay. They're self-sufficient. They're dynamic. They're going to be energetic, independent. Reds and greens, if you don't give them space to grow, you will suffocate them. Yellow and blues need you like just constantly around them. Okay. So if you have one of those colors as your top two, like if you're red, blue, like you're going to need some of somebody, but like you also need the space. Okay. If you're green and red, you need all the space in the world. You actually get offended when people ask if you need help because you feel like that means that they think that you can't do it by yourself. Okay. So be sure that if you're dealing with a red or a green, you're giving them proper space so that they can be independent. Okay. So they are quick to answer questions. They're going to have a strong desire to win. However, here are some weaknesses. They can be very self-centered and egotistical. They tend to forget sometimes that other people have feelings. They can be very sensitive to criticism themselves. They can appear rude, arrogant, or pushy. It can appear like it's their way or the highway. You've definitely been described as stubborn in your past at one point or another if you are a red. You've also probably been described like your parents may have just thought, oh, she might just not have feelings and not care about what we think because it's her way or the highway. You could be bossy. You can be a bad listener because like you already know what's right, and anybody else who tries to tell you different, like they're just annoying. And let's see. And they can, and again, this is not all, these are just weaknesses that can happen with reds, is they can have a sense of entitlement. Okay. Yeah, Kim, she's definitely red. It's okay. My son is like blue red, and he's like the most impulsive kid you'll ever meet. And it's funny how you'll start to see these things pop up in your kids too. Like my daughter is red because she'll go and she'll be like telling other like kids like what to do. She'll be the one creating the games on the playground. Like if that was you as a kid, like that is a red personality. They are going to be confident, okay? But here's high functioning reds. They're gonna have strength under authority. Like if you are like not functioning red, you hate authority. You hate authority. Like you don't do well with it. The more people try to restrict you, like, but it's not it. But like if you are a red and you're high functioning, you can do well under authority. You're driven to win, but you're not going to do things unethically to win. Reds don't need the approval of others. They if you become a high functioning red, you want the spotlight, but you recognize and acknowledge others for their achievements. Reds are willing to work hard to get what they earn. They don't go out of their way to express their emotions, but they can express their emotions and they're empathetic to others. So what don't reds like? Reds hate small talk. Get to the point. Get to the point. Somebody freaking get to the point. Like I do not want sit around and chit chat and whatever, but like just get to the point. They hate cheap stuff. They hate fake stuff. They hate waiting. They're very impatient. And they typically don't like showing emotion. If you're married to a red green, they probably aren't criers. Okay. But like reds, no. And when I mean cheap stuff, I heard somebody say I love cheap stuff. I don't mean the price. I mean the quality. Okay. Because reds they actually like finding bargains because they feel accomplished. They feel so proud of themselves that they found something. But like, nah, bro, I am not taking a low quality thing. And they will pay top dollar for high quality things if they know it's high quality. Okay. Reds don't like showing their weakness. They hate lazy people. If you are lazy, get out of my way. I do not have time for you. That's how reds think, okay? They don't like people who overpromise and underdeliver. They don't like crybabies. Like reds struggle typically with yellows. It might look something like this. Okay, I thought we'd already talked about that, and the yellow's still talking about it a month from now. Like I don't understand. Like why are we still talking about this? Like I'm 4 pages past this, and this yellow is still talking about it. Okay. And so that's typically what goes on. They also think like, why can't they just get it done? Like, I don't understand. Okay. So there are different things like that. They don't like slow people in the fast lane. Okay. That is something that I wrote down because it's so true. They like, if you're a red driver, like, bro, get out of my way. And if you are in the wrong lane, get out. Like I will honk at you. Like I will honk. Yellows are like, you honk? Oh my gosh, that is so confrontational. Okay. Like they typically won't do it unless they have the red yellow combo, which I do probably need to do another Zoom on that part of it. But what do they like? They like to do things in a hurry. Okay. They like to get things done and get them done now. Okay. They like challenges. They want to be challenged. They want to see how far they can go. They enjoy taking risks. They want to know your credentials. Okay. So when I'm talking about those core questions and you're talking about the red question is what? Okay. What do I get out of it? What does it take? What can you offer for me? They have to be given a task and let them run. Just let them run. Let them take ownership of it. They do not need the details. In fact, they don't want the details. They want to figure it out as they go. Okay, that's what they want. They just want to figure it out as they go. They like being on stage. They like VIP treatment. I'm not just talking about in our business, but like they like the bougie things. Like they like quality stuff. And they like having the best of everything. And they were to be the ones that will typically put them in this, that like they want, if you think of people who show their highlight reel, reds are typically guilty of showing their highlight reel because they don't like to show their weaknesses typically. Okay. How do you know like reds are going to be loud and they're going to be forceful. Okay. They're going to be loud and they're going to be forceful. They can be a few minutes late, not because they're disrespectful, but typically they have a full schedule. And if they're on time and you're late, they're kind of turned off. Okay. Um, the other thing is that they have a firm handshake. They value respect. Okay. They value a lot of respect. And unless you're in their inner circle, they have a space that they don't, depending on where they're at, like healthy, not healthy, are they like the unhealthy shade of red, then they're very offended if you step into their circle. But like if they're healthy red, they don't care. Like, so it's really dependent. But I think that like that, if you're one of those people that's like, don't get in my personal space, that's a red sign or a green sign. Okay. Um, don't ever tell a red like what to do. Okay. Suggest, but don't tell them what to do. They don't like that. Okay. However, and this is going to be like in another Zoom part 2 that I do, like if you're a red yellow, you have this battle of like, I know what to do and I want to do it, but like I don't know how people are going to think about me. And like I don't really know if I should do that. And so sometimes if you're that red yellow, you just need somebody to tell you what to do because you're in that indecision mode. Okay. But that's a conversation for another day. How are you going to persuade them? You're just going to challenge them. If you want them to get it done, like if you want them to do it fast, then challenge them. Like just be like, see how fast you can do this. Let's see how quick you can go. Don't ever embarrass them when you're coaching them. If you want, show them an aggressive plan, show them all of that stuff, challenge them into a competition and make sure that you're doing it. Let me see. I have, oh, the yellow question. Sorry, I forgot to go over that. Is who. Okay. Yellow question is who. Who can I help with this? Who is going to be there to support me? Who benefits from me doing this? So they're really focused on like the team welfare piece of it, on positive growth and little criticism, and allow encouragement to just be a regular part of your vocabulary with a yellow. And be careful because yellows really, really, really need, you need to be careful with yellows because like I said, they can adopt those negative beliefs and they can become more negative if you don't steer them into positivity. And let's see. But we were just on reds. Oh, the red question is what? So what do I get out of it? What does it take? What can you offer? What is it worth to me? And focus when you're talking to a red, what they do right. What does a red do right? Give them a task, let them run and always play to a red's strengths. Okay. Always play to a red's strengths. That's really going to help you in coaching a red and praise their achievements. True reds know this. True reds know that their strengths should never be leveraged against others. They know this. They know that their strengths are going to be applied to help lift other people up alongside. Reds are amazing in this business because, and every color is amazing in this business, but reds are amazing in this business because what happens is that they see that vision. They have that kind of like, I'm going to get it done mentality. So when a yellow goes to a red's going to say, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. And we're going to push through. And they have that. Okay. But they don't care because they don't care as much about the how. They're just like, we're going to get it done. And they embody the belief where there's a will, there's a way. Okay. That's how they live their life. And so that's super important to know as a red. These are all really good questions about like, how do you figure out, and I have a bunch of tips for all this stuff, but, I wanted to make sure we understood strengths and weaknesses of this part first. And then when we do other parts, feel free to shoot me questions that you want to know, about the color personalities that I can answer on a Zoom. But the last thing I'm going to do is talk to you about how to motivate each color. Okay. And I kind of touched on this at each one. But I just want to really emphasize this last point. Blues tell stories. If you want to motivate a blue, tell stories. If you want to teach a blue, tell a story. Okay. If you want to, how to motivate blues, focus on a short term objective, like fast cash. Like focus on something that's shorter term, that's not going to be like a year thing. Okay. Um, Blues also want to know that they're like they want to know that they're important to the bigger picture. They want to know that you're going to be there to help them, and make it fun for them. Tell them like what to do, but do it nicely. Okay. Green, if you want to motivate a green, get a game plan. Get a game plan to achieve their immediate financial objectives. Let them scour your website. Let them look at all the facts for everything, and give them the facts and leave them alone. Give them logical reasons to do the business, to work the business, and make sure you avoid any type of super hype or whatever when you're dealing with a green. When you're dealing with yellows, they also love storytellers. They also want you to show genuine concern. They want the testimonials, especially with people with great product results. Okay. Yellows will eat that up. They will eat product results up. And especially when you talk about how does that product, the way that product changed your body, how does that make you feel? Okay. Also making sure that like you're suggesting what they should do and guiding them into a path that's at their own pace, because they never want to let you down. So explain what your expectation is of them and set that expectation up front. But don't just set the expectation, ask them what they can commit to, and they will be honest. And show the big picture in relation to helping thousands of people. Okay. And just in regards to helping thousands of people, and show them like, dang, you can be so impactful and you can help so many people when you get yourself right. When you as a yellow get yourself right, work on yourself, stop caring about what other people think. When you start saying like, you know what, like my family is the only people whose opinion that I need to judge myself from, Jesus and my family, then guess what? You can be so powerful and so impactful and help so many people, but that starts with you. And that's why as a yellow, you have to learn how to be me focused part of the time. Because if you're me focused, if you improve yourself, imagine how much better you're making every single other person around you. Okay. And then reds, let them know what you can do for them. Give them options, not opinions. They don't really want to hear your opinion. They want to know, can I do this? Can I do this? Can I do this? Show them the big picture and how they can fit into the big picture. Play up how great they are or what you think is great against them, and challenge them. And if you need to, use the takeaway method on them. And what I mean is like, you know what, like if this business isn't working, like, or, you know, if this isn't something that you want, then that's okay. Reds are going to be like, no, screw that. Like, I want this. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I never said I didn't want this. Like they will respond to that. Now, if you do that to a green, skirt, they will hate that. Okay. Don't do that to a green. They'll be like, what are you, fraudulent? Like you're about to just, no, they won't like that. But like reds, like if somebody said that to me, I'd be like, girl, you just challenged me. Let's go. Like, let's freaking go. So hopefully this was helpful. I love you guys. And if you have questions, if you want things that answered on a next part of this Zoom, then I would be more than happy to answer those. Just let me know what you guys need. And I pray that this will help you just love on your teams in a better way and just be so much more efficient in understanding that really the power is in how selfless can you be and how can you love on somebody the way that they want to be loved on. Have an awesome night. Bye guys.